Progress.
So sometimes when I start the recording, a little box jumps up somewhere on your screen, and you have to click OK or got it or something that clears it. And then I'm spotlighting myself, and then also going to mute everybody. Okay. So we begin sitting at the front edge of your chair, hands resting on your legs there. Find your vertical axis, your zhongjang, or central upright. And again, I say this in every class, but it bears repeating. That first, the finding of your central upright is important, and everyone understands that. It's like, yes, have good upright posture. But what is different in the Taoist practice is this recognition that we don't hold the body there. We relax everything, the whole body loose and soft and easy. And so that's called Chun One, which means sinking and settling as your means of finding stability. So we let the weight descend out of the body, down through the chair, down through our legs. So we've got upright structure, but then relaxed quality through the body. And then what's left over is this feeling of qingling, or lightness, nimbleness, mobility, looseness. So again, if I snuck into your bedroom and squirted super glue into every nook and cranny of your body, and then you woke up in the morning stuck together, that would not be good. And that's what being tense does to us. Whereas relaxing does the opposite. It has sort of a lubrication that gets squirted into every nook and cranny. So find that ability to relax what you can relax just with your mind right now. You just say, oh yeah, don't do this, do release. Then to help that further, we go in through the nose, expanding, opening, filling, and then out through the mouth. Feel that settling quality through the body. And then in through the nose, out through the mouth. So let's do that 10 times on your own rhythm, and pay attention to the movement, the range of movement and motion that this breathing creates. This opening and settling, right? So we need to loosen up places that are stuck together, like that super glue idea that I was talking about. So breathing in and breathing out. So continue doing that, about 6 more. And we all understand if we don't breathe, we die, right? But we think of that only in the sense of the oxygen and the CO2, which is obviously important. But very important is the mechanics, the movement of the diaphragm, the movement of the rib cage and chest, the expand and the settle, to keeping us fluid, keeping us lubricated, right? Now, the outer body movement, slide the hands back, elbows back, and shoulder blades back. Lift your chest forward and up, and look up to the ceiling. So now you're doing sort of a back bend. You're arching the body. Then settle back to the middle, slide your hands forward past your knees so your arms are straight. Shoulder blades kind of slide away from each other and hollow the chest. Hollow. Back. And drop your head down. And again, slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Your chest comes forward and up. Look up at the ceiling. Chin way up. Look up. Arch your back as much as it can go. Again, within reason. Don't strain your body. And then the opposite. Slide your hands forward, past your knees. Chest settles back and hollows. And the head drops. And again, slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, lift the chest, look up. Now do this with an inhale. Take a big breath in. And then slide your hands forward past your knees, hollow your chest back, and drop your head down. Again, hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, look up, shoulder blades together, inhale. And hands slide forward, rounding. And up. Now come back to vertical, sit upright. Finding again, Zhong, central upright. Chung One, relaxed and released. And then that loose quality called Ching Ling. Now, left hand forward past your knee. Right hand and elbow back. Turn the shoulders. Turn your head. And then switch. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders to the left, turn your head to the left. And then switch again. So just repeat at your own pace. Those of you that have been doing this regularly, either with me or hopefully also with the videos through the week, what you should be finding over time is an ease of movement, this ability to just kind of slide, just this sliding quality, and this sliding quality. Sliding. So it's like a polishing process. It's like we have a bunch of extra tissue and barnacles in there, and we polish them out, and then the movement just has no impediment. It just flows. And then let's find the neutral position. Hang your arms by your sides. Now sideways. So just notice my whole spinal column is just getting a nice little side lean, and then back to center, and then a side lean, back to center. So this could be good just by itself, but again, because this arm is hanging here, when we go this way, it sort of pulls on this joint, and so that's where we float this wrist up and this elbow just to get it above this area so that we can lean a little bit more. Gives us a little more room. And then come back to middle, hang that arm down, start leaning and bring the other wrist and elbow up so that you can lean a little more. And back to middle. So balance. Balance, you might think initially balance is about holding yourself in one position. Kind of makes logical sense at first, but when you think about functional balance, it's more about adaptability. So that's what we're also training here is, can I be leaning all the way here and be able to lean all the way to the other side and retain a sense of middle, like on a seesaw, keeping the middle of the seesaw and yet letting that seesaw move freely. So it's functional rather than, okay, I'm going to hold this and now I'm balanced and I'm never letting go. That's not really very functional. All right, now the scapula are back here. The arms plug into the scapula at the socket, kind of like that. So we want to lift the scapula and let the arms lift with. So by shrugging up and down, my arms kind of lift a little, but notice I'm not doing anything with my arms. My arms are just loose. So I'm moving the scapula, just the scapula, right? And then just the scapula go together, neutral, apart, neutral, together. Notice when they go together, the ribs have to kind of come forward. And then when the scapula come around the side, the chest has to go back a little bit. So we have to allow for movement, right? Instead of being stuck trying to move, we got to move. We got to allow this aliveness, right? Now, from this shape, come up, over, top, and back, and then down and under. So now we're moving the scapula apart and up, and then back and down. So we're really cleaning out what's stuck there. Circles. 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 And then reverse. Back and up, forward and down. And again, especially those of you who've been doing it a while, really let this movement that I'm talking about happen of it's a little bit forward and then the chest hollows. Back, hollow. Hollow. All right. And then bend the elbows, elbows out, way up. So notice my hands are loose, forearms are loose, elbows up, elbows down, elbows in, down, out, down, in, down. Now, elbows back, right? Back. And then down, forward, up, forward, down, back. And notice I'm not dropping my hands like that. My elbows are bent, but the elbows go back. And then down, forward, up. And then forward, down, back. Down, forward, up. And then down. Elbows out, one above, one below. Hug your own torso. Elbows out. Hug your own torso. Opening. Closing. And again, the chest that I'm talking about, this movement of this area, a lot of times people are stuck here, and this is very non-functional. When you cross, you have to allow this hollowing of the chest and opening of the back. And then when you go out like this, the chest sort of fills. And then when you cross, you have to allow that chest to hollow. And then open. One more. Open. Down. Release. And then just very quickly with the legs, we go load, push, load, down. Switch. Load, push, load, down. Switch. Load, push, load, down. Switch. Push, load, down. Switch, load, and push. Now, point flex, point, flex. And tilt the foot a little in, out, in, out, in, out, and circle, circle, just the foot. So I'm not moving my leg, just the foot, just the foot. Reverse, just the foot. And down. Other leg, extend and point, flex, point, flex. And then just the foot, tilt in, out, in, out, in, and circle, in, around, and out. Out, around, and in. And down. Scoot forward on the chair if you're not there yet. Step a little wider than hip distance. Lift your toes, turn the knees and toes in, closing the groin area. Notice the feet are pointing in as well. And then turn the toes and knees out. So it's the hips that we're closing, opening. Make sure the toes come with the knees, pointing in, pointing out. So that protects the knee joint. So the alignment of the leg, even though this shape can look kind of funky, we're not destabilizing the knees. We're just moving this mechanism, this really important mechanism in the hips. And then feet pointing straight ahead. From this mechanism in the hips, fold, right? Fold. And notice I'm not rounding my spine. Not to say your spine can't round. It's just to say a lot of times people are tight in the hips and then they go forward by rounding the spine and kind of hurting the back as opposed to folding from the hips or the quad, right? And think of this as the most important mechanism in the body, this middle folding, unfolding mechanism, right? Now, using that, slide your feet back just a little. Arms are loose and relaxed. Folding at the hips. Notice where my arms, shoulders, and head are in relationship to my ankles. They're in front. So I go forward, then push through the earth and rise to standing. So now I've got a line straight from ear, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle down to the ground. Now to sit down, the mistake a lot of people make is they go backwards like this. They throw off their whole situation by going back instead of thinking of it as fold. Now the butt is behind the ankles, the shoulders, arms, and head are in front. The ankles are the middle. So now the butt's on one side of the middle, the head, shoulders on the other side of the middle. Then you find the chair, now you come back, and now my middle goes down through the chair. And these are not being used. To stand up, I gotta get the weight out of the chair by going forward, and then fall. And then fold at the hips, fold the body up, find the chair, and then sit. So Tai Chi shows us that we can accomplish something that requires strength and power without using force. Instead, we can relax. Just relax your way to standing and relax your way to sitting. Relax. Relax. Now, don't sit in your chair. Hip hinge. Fold. Don't sit in your chair, but sit as if you're going to sit in your chair, and then come back up to standing. So get the mechanisms to be, again, remember that super glue versus lubricant idea. So relax so that there's lubrication between all the parts, and then just try to stay relaxed and just sink. This is called the Tai Chi squat. And rise. And then sink. Loosen up. Loosen everything. So really try to execute this movement without extra tension, which just gums up the works. It acts like super glue. Okay, so now we are standing. And let's do some Tai Chi. So we're standing. We've got Tai Chi standing, which is not locking the knee joint. Now, again, I moved my chair, but I don't want you to move your chair because you might need to sit down or you might need to fall. So Harlan, you should put your chair back where it was so that in case what we do, you lose balance, you at least have a chair to sit in, right? So I moved mine so that I have more room to show on the screen, but make sure you guys keep your safety mechanisms nearby. So again, tendency when we stand is to lock our knees. So let's all lock the knees for a moment and just feel what that's like. You sort of push back through the knees. Feel how that is kind of stable, but then soften the knees and let them have a little bit of bendability, just a little soft quality. And feel how that allows throughness down to the feet, down to the ground. Again, lock the knees and notice how when your knees are locked, something gets stuck right there. And then when you relax and let the knees have a little openness, suddenly there's a through line, like your garden hose getting unkinked. There's flow through the garden hose. So our legs, we want to keep that idea, not locking them up with tension or joint lock. So keep this soft quality in the knees. Same thing in the shoulders. We don't want to be holding the body. Let go. Be loose in the shoulders. And then our first Tai Chi movement, rising hands. Rising hands. Right? And look at the loose quality. Look at my wrists. They're just hanging like ripe pieces of fruit, right? I'm not stiff in the hands. They're just hanging out. Notice a little soft bend quality in the elbow. Notice the space quality in the shoulders and chest, right? And then this little flow change. Boom. Just this little change. And then go sweeping down. Behind you a little bit. And now this little flow change, right? We were like this. Change. Now we're in this shape again and we go. Wrists relaxed. Drop your wrists more. Because I see, Harlan, your wrists were kind of like this on the way up. Loose. Yeah, loose. And then keep them loose even though you change to this position and come down like you're painting with the fingertips. And then loose wrists, as if you're painting with the back of the hand all the way up. And then this little flow change. And then down. And this little flow change and very loose, just levitate the limbs up and flow change and levitate down. Now scoop the hands in front. That exact same quality, but now out to the side. Wrists, very loose, so that you can get this change there, right? From here to there, and then sweeping down, right? And it has that look of a crane wing. And then we open, big, feel all that space, opening, and then down. Because again, initially, how we often think of the body is like, my arm just moves from here, right? But actually, it's from all of this space, there's this opening, this expanding of that space, and then a consolidating of that space. So we got to feel more moving parts, more sliding layers of tissue, more juice in between all the little nooks and all the little crannies of the body. Now, wings, opening, turn the palms up a little bit, right? So now by having this shape of the arm, just a simple fold, right, of both arms. Down. This is a use of our mechanisms. Wing, roll, fold. Down. Open all the space. Wing, roll, fold. Down. Loose. Drop everything. Loose. Use even less effort on the next round. Wing, roll. So usually we're accustomed to moving our body by clamping down on it and then moving it. That's just how we accidentally start to learn how to move. Tai Chi is returning us to this liquid, fluid state where we're going, oh, I can move my body with zero effort. Now, bring the back of your hands towards each other, come up right in front of yourself, and then roll open. So the palms face a little forward, and then a little bit out, and then a little bit down, and then it's just wings down. Backs of hands touch or get close. Come up. And then we go rolling out. So we're using all the joints in a coordinated, natural, fluid way. So again, like I said, what's important with this one is that I don't just go out like this. I'm going out in a way that my palms are facing forward, then out, and then down. So there's a spiral that happens there. And again, it's the most natural thing in the world once you relearn it. But at first, we sort of think linearly. So we're doing these sort of awkward ways of moving, but try to hit these different little points of, okay, we're here. Now, as you start going out, it's palms facing forward-ish, and then out-ish to the sides. And then by the time you get all the way there, they're facing down. And then it's now, wings. Turn right palm up. As your right hand comes over top, left hand wings sweep down. And we've got bottom, top. Now, like two magnets attracting to each other. Then two magnets repelling from each other. Then out over top like we just practiced. Out like a wing like we practiced before, and then turn left palm up. As this comes over top, this goes underneath. Try to time it together. And then together. And then apart at the same time. And then at the same time, at the same time. It's called embracing the moon. Those of you that have learned the basic choreography, because again, there's levels to everything. First, it's what are we doing? So you first have to learn that. But those of you that have done this for a while now, you get to start practicing the subtle quality of Schwen, like a river. So it starts to go. It has a flow to it that can then become faster movement. But the moment you try to go fast, it loses Schwen, it loses flow. So be at the exact speed where you retain that soft and fluid quality. And know that over time, as you clean the way out and you get the coordination, you'll be able to do it with a lot more of this lovely quality of movement. but we have to slow down at first to just get the brain and body back to calibration. Now scoop, bring the elbows behind you, turn the hands over and push, push. And then turn the hands, draw. Turn the hands, push, full extend. Turn the hands, draw. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Turn the hands, push. Turn the hands, draw. Push. Draw. Now, just your left hand push. As that pushes, it should slightly turn you. Turn the left hand to face the body, right hand face away. As you draw the left hand back, push with the right, it should slightly turn you, right? And then turn the hand, turn the other hand, and push and draw and allow it to turn your body. And then simultaneously, right? One push, one draw. And then simultaneous, push and draw. Let it turn you. Simultaneous change of hands, and then now we'll do a few more of these. Those of you that have been doing it a while, think about Schwen, the concept of like a river. So that shows up like boom, and then there's this kind of rolling over, this sort of like a waterfall. There's a little bit of a float, and then a right? Whereas at first we're sort of mechanically just trying to get the relationships. But then once you have the relationships, you get to loosen up and just have it kind of, and it has this really lovely change, therapeutic change to your body, right? Now back and down. Change your body weight to your right leg. And then change the body weight to your left leg. Now remember, don't lock the leg, soften the leg that's taking the weight. Now place your left hand behind your back and change and change. Now stay in your right leg, turn a little bit to the right, and reach your right hand out. But notice I didn't reach my right hand up. It's just out. Now, change the weight to the left leg, turn to the left. The bear washes its paw, sweeping the lake. And then turn that palm around, and then we shift into the right leg, turn to the right, and that's called brush knee. And then turn the hand, shift and turn and sweep. Turn the hand over, shift and turn, brush, knee. Again, very important piece here is that my hand isn't leading. The hand gets drawn along because I'm going from this leg to this leg. And then my hand gets drawn along because I'm turning from these internal mechanisms. And then the hand goes through from the shoulder, right? Same thing on this side. My hand doesn't lead. The hand follows behind this shift, right? So I'm shifting from this leg to this leg, turning. See how that moves my hand, right? But then I don't stay stuck like this. I don't finish here. I actually go, ah. So it gets that freedom. So it's shift and turn and let it finish. And then turn the hand over. And then it's shift and turn and now buoyant open space allows this lift. Shift and turn, the bear swats the jumping fish all the way across. Then the hand turns down, dips into the water there, and shift and I'm teaching you. Do you have something you have to?
Looking for a couple of shoes and his water bottle.
Okay, right here. Shoes. Water bottle is somewhere. Sorry, folks. Oh, here it is.
Just give us the shoes if you have to.
They're right there. I just threw them here. You can come grab them. You can come in and grab them. So we're coming across. And the hand comes down. So notice the weight is here. The body is turned this way. Now we're going shift and turn, brush knee through. Then this arm can float up around chest height. Now it's shift and turn and swat the fish down into the water. Shift and turn. Now all the way up, and then keep going up with the arm as you shift and turn. The bear swats the high jumping fish. Then and brush knee. Shift, turn, brush knee. Buoyant, buoyant, buoyant. Now it's shift, turn, and swat. Down into the water. Shift, turn, brush. And then finally we go wing, roll, fold. Shift, turn, brush knee. Shift, turn, and push. Dip into the water. Shift, turn, brush knee. So this brush knee is a constant, kind of brings it all back together. And then here we do a different technique. That wing, roll, fold with that right arm. Now it's loaded up, ready to shift, turn, push. Then. And then it's shift, turn, brush. Wing, roll, fold. Shift, turn, push. Dip into the water. Shift, turn, brush. Now, final technique on this little one-armed thing is shift, turn, sweep the lake. The lake vapors and floats up and becomes a cloud. And notice this cloud arm position, back of hand facing forward. Notice I'm at my chest level, and there's space here. So it's like half of a circle. It's kind of like half of this. Okay, so that's the cloud. Now it's shift to the right leg, turn, right? That brings the cloud across, and then the cloud floats the rest of the way. Cloud rains down, fills up the lake. So now we shift, turn, lake. The lake turns to vapor and floats up. Now it's from this leg to this leg. Shift, then turn, then the arm is released to flow through. Down, raining down. Shift, turn, lake, vapor. Shift, turn, cloud, rain. One more. Shift, turn, lake, vapor. Shift, turn, cloud. Now, put the right hand behind your back. Bring your left arm out. Let's start from the beginning of that. Shift, turn, sweep the lake. Then turn that hand over, palm facing back, and we shift and turn. This is called brush knee. The hand goes all the way to the end of its elasticity over here. Turn the palm. And again, the hand doesn't lead. The hand is following behind the shift, the turn, then the sweeping through. Turn the hand over. Now it's shift and turn, brush knee. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And then turn the hand over. shift and turn and lake, sweep, 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 keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, and then turns over. Shift and turn, brush knee. Now, that loosening up that happens allows for more buoyancy. Float the left arm up around chest height. Now it's shift and turn. The bear swats the fish. The arm falls down, dips into the water. Shift and turn, brush knee. The arm floats up. And remember, float it up from this space rather than from tightening something. Loosen, which gives space for that movement. Shift and turn and swap. Hand falls into the water. Shift and turn, brush knee. Arm floats up. Shift and turn and swap the fish. So again, you see the arm, especially when you're first learning this, you get caught up in what the arm is doing. You don't realize it's the body. It's the changing of leg, and then it's the turning of the waist, right? All of that, my arm hasn't done anything. And then the arm. So really see that here. When I'm shifting and turning, this arm is along for the ride, and only after I finish all of that do I let the arm move from the shoulder and then down. Shift, turn, brush knee. Now the high jumping fish, come up, reaching as high and long as you can, but don't pull yourself out of your heel. Keep your heels on the ground. Down comes the arm. Shift and turn, brush, and the arm floats up. And then shift and turn and reach. And then the arm falls down through space into the water, and then shift and turn, brush, knee. Arm floating up. One more, shift and turn, this big old bear paw. And then down, and then shift and turn. Now, wing, roll, fold. Now we're ready to go shift, turn, push. The arm stays long as it dips down into the water. Now it's shift, turn, brush, knee, wing, roll, fold. Shift and turn and push. Full extend. Arm dips into the water, fingers dip down, and then shift and turn, brush knee. Wing, roll, fold. Shift and turn, push, down. Shift and turn, brush knee. Now, keep the hand down low. Sweep the leg, shift and turn, sweep. Leg turns to vapor and rises up. And then shift and turn and cloud. Rain. Shift and turn, lake. Vapor. Shift and turn, cloud. Rain. Shift and turn, lake. Vapor. Shift and turn, cloud. Rain. Now, shift and turn, lake. Now here, bring your other hand out. Turn your left hand so it's ready for brush knee. This one's ready for sweep the leg. So now we go shift and turn, brush knee and sweep leg. And then turn the hand, so now they switch jobs. Shift and turn, brush knee, sweep leg. Right? and the arms go like elastic, pliably that way, but yet you stay where you are. You don't let yourself get pulled off. And so that pliability, there's a natural point at which the hands turn over. And then it's shift and turn, brush, knee, sweep, leg. Same thing here. There's a pliability. Let them go, let them go, let them go, let them go. And then they turn. Shift and turn. 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 Now, right arm floats up, left hand stays down in the water. Notice how my arm is straight here for this one, the big old bear paw. So now it's shift and turn, one brush knee, one swat the fish. Then they have to switch places. Now it's shift and turn, brush knee, swat the fish. Then they gotta switch places, right? So the brain gets stuck when we start doing asymmetrical movements. And so just go slow enough that you can really create this separation, right? High and low. And then the shifting and turning, and the brush and the swat. And then the changing of position. And the shift and the turn. So we're getting more ambidextrous. We're getting more middle and center because we're doing all the way one way, all the way the other, all the way up and all the way down. We're really getting the dynamic separating that helps us find the middle, the functional middle. Now let's go the highest jumping fish. So this hand is very high while this hand is still low. Shift and turn, right? And then they change places all the way, that separation, and then shift and turn and brush knee low and swat fish high. And then they change, and then shift and turn. And then they change. And then shift and turn. Now, wing, roll, fold. Shift, turn, brush knee low, push, cross. Now they have to change places. Left hand low, right arm wing, roll, fold. Shift and turn and brush knee and push. Wing. As this right hand goes down, roll, fold. Shift and turn, brush knee and push. As that continues, then there's the wing, the roll, the fold, then the release, storing, preparing, and release, store, release, store, and pause here. Turn your left hand into a cloud. Right hand is dipped in the water. Shift and turn. We got cloud up top, lake down low. Now the cloud rains down as the lake vapors up. And now we're going shift and turn, cloud up top, lake down below. Then vapor and rain at the same time. And then shift, turn, cloud, lake. Vapor and rain. Cloud, lake. Vapor and rain. Cloud, lake. One more. And then drop that left hand down, wash your paws. Back. Now closing, wing, roll palms up, fold, settle the hands down right to the belly button, the middle. Turn your palms to face in towards the belly, towards the middle. Called middle embrace. It allows this sort of like a reservoir filling. So we've just generated energy throughout the body. This is the narrative, the story. And then as we stop, all that energy that went out to play settles back to its home, to its nest. Hands crossed. So now from the top, let's go through that. And now that that's maybe for those of you that are newer or just getting back into it, you have a little bit more familiarity. So now try to work on some of that Schwen quality, that flow quality. So we've got rising, flow change, sweeping down. So remember, the important thing is the difference, the change. When you go up, look at the wrists. And then when you go down, look at the wrists. And then flow change, right? That change. And then that change. Now scoop the hands in front, open. Look at the wrists, loose. The wrists are an emblem of, they're emblematic of the type of quality we want through the whole arm. So it's not just stiffness everywhere with wrists relaxed, it's the whole body being so loose that the hands are like plump tomatoes or some sort of a fruit hanging off a vine. You want that level of looseness and ease through the hands. One more. And then we go wing, roll, fold, down through the middle. Totally relaxed. Be even more at ease and just sort of levitate your body through these movements. Again, we're so accustomed to clenching that it feels weird at first to let go of that clenching and find that we can move. So I use the word levitate because that kind of gets to the point. It actually feels like that. Same thing here. Bring the backs of the hands in and just kind of levitate the limbs up and go out over the top, out, and then like wings. And backs of hands face, come up close to the body, and then get that spiraling. And then repeat. Closing, coming up while closed, and then open. Now embracing the moon. Wings, right hand roll, fold as left hand sweeps under. Magnets attract, they repel, and then around, left hand over, right hand under. Around, over and under. Magnets attract, repel, around, over and under, attract, repel, around, down, down. Hands up in front, elbows back, turn the hands over, push, So the free mechanism from all the way back here and in here, free, extend, return. Extend, return. So the brain gets stuck. That's the difference to the added challenge with Parkinson's that from my view of all the people that I work with in classes and privately, it's this concept of the muscles and tissue can be stuck, but it's also the brain, right? It's the brain sort of getting stuck and thinking this is the end of the movement, where you got to go, no, there's more, there's more, there's more. Fully extend. So like Harlan, you got more straightness you got to get from your limb forward, right? Yeah, there, right? So there's more elasticity through the mechanism that has to be found, and then you get more of the complete return back, and then push, full extend, full, and then return. So it's about loosening and unsticking the tissue, muscle, and that layer, but also the nerve brain connection. Now turn left hand palm forward. Now just the left hand push. Let that turn your middle pivot a little bit, not too much. And then left hand, right hand, and we go, and let that turn you like a turnstile, like a little pivoting structure, pivoting machine. Just, we want freedom of movement in this middle, right? How the leg wants to have bendability, the torso needs to have turnability. Turn. And then both hands back and down. Change your weight to your right leg, turn a little to the right, float your hands that way, but keep them down in the water. Now we got the bear washing paws in the stream. Shift, turn, brush, and sweep. That elasticity, they go, 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 they turn over. Now we've got what's called dynamic tension, like a piece of elastic that's been pulled. It has the tension to go and come back. But we control that. We don't whip it back. We control. And then we let it go, 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 create that dynamic tension, which is just good for the tissue, good for the joints, keeps the body more pliable, right? Which is the highest aim with Taoist movement, is pliability, suppleness, right? Brush and sweep. Now the bear swats the jumping fish, so it would be the left arm float, my right, your left, and then we go shift and turn, brush, swat, right? And then change. So don't get stuck along the way. Let that change happen, and then don't get stuck along the way. Shift, turn, and let the arms go, 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 and then let them change again. And then shift and turn, and brush and swat. Just don't get stuck anywhere through these ranges of movement, but be as relaxed as possible. So one of the sayings is, Tai Chi is resting. Qigong is resting. So that's that quality of leisurely. Now let's go for that high jumping fish. So I don't add a bunch of tension. I stay super relaxed, but then I just go reaching, and there's brush me down low, swat the fish up high, and then they change, and then it's down low with the left hand, but up high, and then they change places, up and down, turn, and they change, and then turn again. So we're just not allowing that stasis lock, that getting stuck. When we practice Tai Chi, we're unlocking all those plugged up pathways. Now we go wing, roll, fold, shift, turn, brush, push, and then wing, roll, fold, dip the fingers down, and then it's shift and turn and brush and push. And again, don't get stuck. Let them flow through, and then change, and then shift and turn, brush and push, and don't get stuck. Extend that push, extend it like we looked at earlier. Wing, roll, fold, and then so they can extend and they can unextend or fold. And then from folded, they're ready to extend and then unextend and fold. So that healthy body, freedom of movement. Now, cloud, lake, we go shift, turn, cloud, lake. Then lake, cloud rains down, lake vapors up. And then it's shift and turn, right? All of that does the lion's share of the movement. And then you go, wow. Let them go through. Then they change. Shift and turn. So when I'm moving like that, I'm doing it sort of over-exaggerated, right? I'm going, look at me change leg. Look at me turn body. But I'm trying to instruct so your brain sees it because it can be quite subtle. Tai Chi becomes very subtle over time. Right? It's this sort of all of this beautiful movement that becomes available. But at first we have to really get the starch out, right? Not with effort, not with faster movement. Bigger movement, longer movement, softer movement. Wow. So just by going slow and being thorough. So that combo of opposites of slow and soft, yet big, long, and thorough. Wow. And then both hands down. And again, very important as we come to close the class, we don't clamp down on the body to stop. We just kind of slowly settle back because we don't want to get into a clamped stasis position, even when we stand still for a moment. The definition of stillness from a Taoist viewpoint is not the absence of movement. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the absence of impediment or obstacle or blockage to that which is flowing. So blood flows, nerve electricity flows, the different fluids of the lymph and interstitial fluids, that flows if we're healthy, if we're alive. It's flowing all the time. So as we just stand for a final nourishing moment of doing nothing at all, get that idea that you experience deep, nourishing stillness when you have open space for flow. And so that's ideally what we've promoted today with the Tai Chi practice. And then this gesture here of wings, roll palms up, fold over top has this closing quality, right? We're closing and the hands settling down, down, down. We're letting the mind be quiet, the emotional turbulence be quiet. And we're coming to the belly, which according to the Chinese medicine viewpoint, this and the Western medicine is starting to catch on to this. The gut, we say, oh, I have a gut instinct, or there's some knowing here. And this is where I believe it's serotonin, possibly even dopamine is produced here, I think. I got to find that out. But I know it's like the majority of serotonin is in a healthy gut. So this settling down, the mind, the emotions, returning to this sort of reservoir, resting, napping quality. So it's called middle embrace. The hands are at belly button level with a little bit of room, right? You can see there's space here, a little bit of room. And then we finish the practice by sealing. We go center palm over the navel, right? And then the other center palm over the back of this center palm, a sort of sealed position. And this can just feel really good. This just kind of, instead of everything leaking and being out of control, we're returning it to its nest. And then we close with the hand position. You know how like in yoga they close with this. In Taoist practice, one of the ways they close is you grab a thumb and fold the hand over, and you can see that looks kind of like a little yin-yang symbol, right? So this seal, this hand seal, telling us, reminding us, what we want to cultivate is the middle still point around which up and down and forward and back and left and right and all the yinning and yanging is happening. We are that still point in between. And we close. So thank you so much, everybody. And make sure you know where your chair is if you try to go sit down. And if there are any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. Or